Alrighty, everybody, welcome. This is going to be a C-West match between number 1 ranked Tickle Tassadar, number 4th ranked Can't Counterpick Stupid. Joining me today, we've got Ektar, a wonderful teammate and co-caster. How are you doing today?
You also forgot newest board member.
Newest board member, head moderator. What roles other do you have in the Nexus Gaming Series Discord?
D-West moderator.
D-West moderator.
Rules committee member.
Rules committee member. So, if we can tack some more titles, we've got board member, co-caster, teammate, rules committee member. Yeah, all that good stuff. I'm not even going to try and list it. He's got
Still
all the
pales
Discord
in
tags.
comparison to all of your Discord tags.
Do I? I think you might have more than me at this point, but let's not talk about these Discord tags. Let's talk about these teams that are going down. We've got an epic C-West showdown that has been hyped up by Valkymer himself for about a week now and has been anticipated for about a year, or for the entire season. What do you think about it?
I think that this has absolutely nothing to do with playoff implications outside of seeding. However, these are two of the teams that going into the season, everyone would have picked as probably the two teams to watch out for the number 1 and number 2 seeds. So even though it's maybe not living up to the hype, considering CCS is down at 4, I still think that there's a lot to be excited about.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember watching some of the early Nexus Edge ones, and they're like CCS and TMT are the two teams to watch out for, and we're watching out for them in the this Week 6 match. So, already, I'm going to give ready in the lobby, and we'll get us right into the draft in just a moment. We've got bans coming out. Tickle Me Tassadar, as usual, lost the coin flip. They, Valkymer and Can't Counterpick Stupid, opted for the first pick on this map. Bans were BOE and Towers of Doom by TMT, and CCS bans Volskaya and Tomb. Tomb is that map.
I think that was backwards.
It
TMT
was.
Then,
It was. It was, which means my colors are backwards. Don't worry about it. We're in the draft. Let's get into this. Alright, I have window capture issues. Go ahead and talk.
Cursed Hollow, a bit of a weirder map because of how big it is compared to a lot of the other standard maps in the pool. So in a lot of cases, you'll end up seeing either 2 full solo lane heroes or like at least 1.5 solo lane heroes. So I'm looking to see how they're going to go ahead and navigate that. I know that both teams actually play a surprising amount of Lunara, who can function as that half solo lane hero. And I want to see where the priorities lay for their drafting.
Yeah, this will be interesting. Definitely how teams navigate all the things you have to do on this map. There's all the camps, all the lanes have to be soaked. And, of course, all the team fighting that has to occur, so you can't cut too much out. And a very prompt Morales ban. So, very unfortunately, no Juice Pirates this game.
There's always game 2.
There is.
I do like the Zeratul band coming out. Ogle the Great is definitely known for playing a couple of those hyper carry heroes. And Zeratul has never really completely left the meta. He can always just insta-delete someone, do a ton of AoE damage, or set up incredible combos. For example, Jaina would be a great pairing with Zeratul, but neither of them are going to be seen in this game.
Good to have a third ban as well. Probably his best map. He can almost triple soak through cursed phases.
If you take Monstrosity, you can. Not that I'm suggesting you do that, but you can.
Yep, you absolutely can. So, now we get into our first pick, CCS. Let's see, I'm going to pull up the hero's profile because I always like doing this. Check the cursed hollow. Well played, Ektar, well played.
God, Steps of the Storm is good for scouting.
And I've got hero's profile pulled up. Bless those people there. Lunar, I haven't seen picked yet, but that's okay. That might be a Season 6 kind of thing.
Yeah, both teams have run Lunara about 3 or 4 times. I don't know if they run it around this map as often. And a big prioritization onto the Falstad. I love the global pressure on a map this size. It's really good. And ETC can flex into that as well. Although certain Regen Blue members have suggested that if you're taking Stage Dive, you've drafted incorrectly.
I appreciate that. Shoutouts to certain Regen Blue members. Alrighty, so yeah, I totally agree with you on the Falstad pickup there. Broom Boy is, I think they've been saying he's a one-trick ETC basically, and he's been doing great at it. So,
I actually heard one-trick Tyraels, though. Bit of a surprise, maybe
he's a two-trick.
Because they couldn't get that Morales pick. He one-tricks something. We'll figure it out what it is through the rest of the series.
Yep, absolutely. Anduin Muradin picked up on the side of can't counterpick stupid. Love the Anduin pick, Muradin. Not my personal favorite at the current meta, although I've been putting in the work, but it's a pick. And I want to see what Valkymar can do on it. I've seen a lot of Muradins get punished, and I've seen a lot of Muradins literally be invincible lately. It seems to be a very feast or famine tank compared to some of the others.
And for inquiring minds, Kira is still banned out for another couple of hours.
Fantastic.
Yeah, not looking forward to playing next week.
Make sure to use your first bans. There goes Ogle's Medivh as well. We were just getting some comments in the chat from that from the first ban phase. So we'll have to see. He goes and picks Li Ming up and combos it with Ana to probably administer some nano boosts.
Yeah, that's going to be scary if Li Ming can get some nano-boosted resets. Little bit light on the wave clear at the moment. Falstad's pretty good, Li Ming is mediocre. So I'd like to see Serenian prioritize picking up just a little bit more wave clear on that last pick. I can actually almost say the same about CCS, though.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have to see. They do have 2 picks. There's their wave clear. Hello. And, ooh, we got an Alarak. Very nice. I think Serenian's often the offlaner on TMT, so I think we'll see a Leo, or I think I would like to see a Malthael. I think he's really good.
That would be a nice pick.
Pandemonium. That's also good. Not amazing for the wave clear, but Chen is a hero that's really good, and Muradin has absolutely no tools to stop a backline diving Chen.
Bashing is not a sub-Miz Wind-Up Bird. He is a relatively new roster rat. He's been for a week or so.
Yeah, I think they've played 3 series, and they've been crushing through, spooked by the new addition to CCS, or TMT, rather. So, alrighty, let's get into it. Ektar, who do you think has the advantage in this draft?
I think both teams have drafts that do very similar things. They're both a little bit of poke and a lot of bit of ability to blow up a target once they decide that an individual hero needs to die. F for both teams not getting their portrait synergy lined up.
Oh,
so I really feel like this map is going to go to whichever team starts winning. I think that both teams are going to snowball really hard, so whichever team gets the advantage first is going to be able to push it really hard.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you there. I think it's going to pretty much just go one way, but whichever way that is, I'm not entirely sure. I do like Falstad for that boss control on this map, though. Alright, let's go ahead and get into the game. On the left side, we do have Tickle Me Tassadar. We've got Serenian on Chen, Broom Boy on ETC, Ogle the Great on Li Ming, bashing, taunting on Ana, and Lunchbox hiding Ogle and playing Falstad.
And in the red trunks, we have Keladorn playing Gul'dan, Valkymar playing Muradin, Wit's End playing Anduin, Osprey playing Lunara, and Silma playing the Alarak. And Wit's End already not running with scissors, so I'm going to have to go ahead and give this one over to Tickle Me Tassadar.
Alright, pack it up. Game's over. Didn't throw the W at the wall. It is over. It is over. If you're playing Anduin, it is mandatory. W that wall, grab your mana, and then run with scissors until you die. That's basically the most important thing of the game.
So we notice right away that Serenian is already up in the top lane, not bothering to do any of that 5-man push mid shenaniganry. And we have relatively quick rotations out by CCS as soon as they realize not all members are here.
Yeah, good calls from the start. There's not a whole lot to be gained on the side of TMT. There's no big level 1 quests that can be stacked rather than the echoed corruption that exists for level 1 on CCS's side. So I like that. And we do have Aether Walker here on level 1 from Ogle. I've seen him favor that, and it's good talent. Good talent.
And we could actually see already the superior wave clear coming out from Keladorn, able to just blow up that wave before Tickle Me Tassadar really even started on the front lines. I'd like to see them parlay that wave clear into getting some nice early camps taken, although we see Ogle already on the siege camp very, very quickly.
Yeah, absolutely, and with Walker, it's basically free dodges. I didn't see that. And, yeah. We'll see the mirror happening with Whitson and Celadorn going ahead and taking some siege camps here in the bottom half of the lane. I'm going to go ahead and adjust my sound just slightly, so I think it's a bit loud for casting ears.
We see both tanks kind of gentlemen agreeing to just let the minions kind of wail on each other while the damage dealers are off taking camps.
Yeah.
And Valkyrie stepped up just to get a Q stack, but really there's nothing that either of these two heroes could do to each other. This could go on for the next 4 minutes with those two wailing on each other and no one would die.
Yep, absolutely. 3 rotating down from CCS. Gonna put a good bit of damage onto Lunchbox, who already had a lot of damage on Osprey. So that's gonna be a... I don't know how many taps were used. I think Osprey had a tap, but I think Whitson just went down to heal everybody up. Rotation in here to Broomboy. He'll take a couple corruption stacks and then be on his merry way.
Worth noting also that Ogle went up to the top lane, put some damage into Silma. He actually had to tap already as well, so they're not going to have that for the first objective phase.
Yep, and there's a tower down in top lane, so the rotation paying off already for TMT. Small XP advantage there.
Nothing that can't be made up relatively quickly, though, is we have the first objective phase spawning. We have Lunchbox in the bottom lane, which is really where you want him to be so he can get that split push value for just a little bit extra time.
Yep. 3 position here from CCS in the top lane. 3 going to be meeting up with ETC. So we're going to have an even fight right now. Going to have the 4v4. Looks like Murden's coming up to join. Falstad going to get one last wave. Give TMT just a tiny bit of XP lead, and we watch the first esports over the first tribute.
Couple of good corruption sets coming out onto Broomboy, but he's really the only one hit, so not too much damage taken out there. Nothing on him will be able to heal up, and we see both teams jockeying for position. Broomboy goes in really hard onto Celadorn, who gets that bio grenade, but is able to get not pulled out by Anduin. That's an 80-second cooldown for a dead Gul'dan. And Valkyrie still stepping up trying to do some damage, but I think he needs to get out of there.
Ooh, good counter engage by Silma there. Almost takes out Broomboy. Does a lot of damage, but just not quite enough to follow up without a companion damage dealer. Taps come through, and there seems like there's going to be a re-engage happening here. Serenian taking a lot of damage, gets silenced, does not get the follow-up CC from that chastise from Anduin, so the fight will continue.
And Gul'dan's almost back in this fight. CCS have actually bought enough time that their team has gotten back together, and it looks like Serenian and maybe Lunchbox are going to want to tap before trying to re-engage on this.
Osprey now channeling the tribute. Looks like it's going to be successful unless Ogle gets the missiles in. Travel time too high, and first tribute goes over to the side of Can't Counterpick Stupid.
Really well done by them, actually having a team member die and still managing to take that objective, although we do see that value coming in on Falstad, getting the quick rotation down in the bottom lane so you can continue to get those bribe stacks.
And he got a ton of minions. I think he picked up like 10 minions total from that injured wave, and then they're going to split even on the next wave, so really that's going to be a lot of value. They're pulling about a half level ahead now, just due to the minion differences and the hero differences.
We see, continuing in the top lane, just a 3-man scuffle as both teams not rotating out either their healer or one of their damage healers. Although we do see, looks like Ogle's finally going to rotate out, probably to take that siege camp again.
Yep, seems fair. And we do have Celadorn and Wits End going to take the Bruiser camp here. Nobody on TMT looks interested in taking Bruisers. Nobody on CCS feels interested in taking a siege camp, so I'd give a slight advantage to that over to the side of CCS because of Bruisers is better than a siege in the tribute lane.
It is, but Wit's End is going to be low on both the health resource and the mana resource before this next objective, and Celadorn's relatively low as well, so they're probably both going to have to tap, which means if this fight goes long, it could still end up going over to CCS.
Ooh, Broomboy gets a slide onto Valkymer. Valkymer's going to be able to whoop right on out of there, and he's A-okay for now. Gonna let his third wind maybe heal him up just a little bit, trading out health for now as the pokes start to come through, interrupting bashing in the back line.
We actually saw Falstad wasn't there on time for that fight, though, so he's getting a little bit late, and that's a little bit of echoing onto his team before he can respond.
Yep, but they ended up picking up the tribute anyway. Silma goes in with the counter engage. Valkymer gets dangerously low. Ogle splits the Needle's eye and gets the kill. Gonna get that reset. Osprey gonna fall down as well with a good slide from Broomboy. And Silma now in a lot of trouble. Good chastise. Probably gonna keep him alive. Nice job hiding behind that well, and then the minions to keep out of the way of the skill shots, preventing the Leeming Snowball from going anywhere. But now it's a full level lead, top fort advantage, and nearly 10s here for Tickle Me Tassadar.
Shout out during that fight to Dominance, though. I'm pretty sure Ogle would have gone down after that first kill if he didn't get that 30% heal.
Yeah, it's a big talent when it's useful, and when it's not, you know, it exists. It's like an insurance policy, I think I heard somebody sum it up as. I think that's fair.
Interesting boss call. They are about to have heroics, but I don't know if that's quite big enough for them to want to take this, but it looks like TMT is really convinced that they have what it takes here.
With the Gust, I think they can do it. Lunchbox is positioning on the backside of the thing, but he gets knocked down immediately, drops down to about 50 HP. Panda Pals comes out, Valkymer jumps on the point. Gust comes through from the low health Lunchbox and works. Good pull from the Anduin, but it's not enough. It goes on another dead hero. Wit's End is going to get followed up. He gets killed, and another 2 kills for the side of Tickle Me Tassadar, plus a tribute and a boss. Really good power play there.
I like that most of the team is staying here to push with this boss. They only really needed Falstad to go down. He's going to be able to rotate quicker than anyone from CCS, and he's going to be able to then rotate up and take that mid. So really smart macro plays coming out from Tickle Me Tassadar.
Yep, and now let's see if they can get the keep. They're still up heroics. They're only up Mosh and Wave of Force, though. Gust will be available in about a quarter minute or so. Looks like they've called it good. They're going to be content with just the front wall, as CCS is rapidly approaching 10s with Osprey soaking down in the bottom lane. So, good disengage call. We'll see if they head over towards their boss as well.
They're certainly heading in that direction. It looks like with 10s being picked up now on both sides, that's maybe not the call that they want to make, especially because this is their curse point objective. But just reviewing the heroics real quick, we've got the Panda Pals, Wave of Force, Mosh Pit, Mighty Gust, and Nano Boost, as you would expect. And on the side of CCS, we have Horrify, Avatar, Light Bomb, Leaping Strike, and Counter Strike. So no surprising little picks there.
10 out of 10 in the standard department. Seems pretty good. We'll have to see if CCS can turn around these team fights. They are down about 2 levels at this point, despite it doesn't feel like they've been crushed over in any specific fight. But they haven't got a kill yet. Wit's End is already in a lot of trouble with Valkymer, and they're going to be pushed off the point while Ogle goes in channels.
Lunchbox putting a lot of damage onto Keldor in the back. Avatar popped by Valkymer, but he's still down 30%. The disengage from Lunchbox actually causes a great engage for the rest of the team, and that's a nice quick double kill, and going to be a channel over to Lunchbox eventually. Maybe not right away, but there shouldn't be any way that CCS is actually able to prevent this cap.
Yeah, and that, I think, might be almost an inevitable keep on the side of Tickle Me Tassadar. This is going to be... Yeah, I think it guarantee is. There's no minions. There's already a minion wave here to help. The respawns have come through, but Lunar gets taken down. Osprey just a little bit too close to the sun, trying to poke out the damage. And this could be really devastating for the side of CCS. They're already down a keep. If they lose heroes, it's game. If not, at best, it's probably 2 forts looking at mid and bottom. So, really tough spot to be in.
And with TMT positioned this aggressively, they're really looking for a kill. However, that's a huge Horrify coming out into the entire team, able to peel for Valkymer, but that was a fantastic Horrify, but literally no follow-up. So everyone runs away, and then they just kind of run back.
Yeah, sidewalls down for the escape path. There goes a Gust. I think the retreat call has been made. Some people might be like, I'm a panda, I can just flip over the wall, I'm fine, don't worry about it. Here comes a re-engage. Nano onto Ogle, does a ton of damage. Valkymer gets taken out. Big silence from Silma keeps him alive for just a little bit, but Ogle's unsilenced does a whole bunch of damage. There is the middle keep as well. Bottom fort is down, and CCS all of a sudden down 6-1 in structures, 10-0 in kills. And it's just, oof, it's looking rough for him here.
And it looks like they're going to take this camp, probably tap up, and then go for their own boss.
Yeah,
because why not? You're up 3 full levels, a talent tier, and a whole bunch of kills. Like, it really feels like CCS has been playing on the back foot basically this entire game, and I don't know what needs to happen to get them back in this game other than winning a team fight, but that has not even a little bit been going in their favor.
No, I think the closest thing they had to winning a team fight was that very first fight where they re-engaged and took the tribute, but even then, that wasn't a one-team fight. It was more of just a not-lost team fight from TMT. There are no kills taken, so yeah, looks like CCS knows the boss jig is up, but there is nothing they can do about it, even on the same talent tiers for about 10, 15, 20 seconds, depending on how they soak. So, yeah, now the defense is going to have to happen on the bottom keep, and I don't know if they're going to be able to do it.
CCS knows that this is happening, and they're positioning correctly in that regard. They're trying to push out top lane just so that they can have a little bit more time to make this defense. But this should, even down 3 levels in a talent tier, this is a defense that they should be able to make without dying as long as they don't get picked. But that's been a pretty big if this game.
Yeah, it's definitely seemed like the Murden is on that famine side of the feast or famine that I was saying in draft. He seems to just have a tough time engaging. If his bolt misses, it's a range bolt. A lot of people have trouble doing it. Big pull from Silma. Does a lot of damage. Light Bomb does miss on the follow-up, though. Disengage Gust happens along with the Horfire at the same time. TMT probably going to be content with just that final keep taken before 13 minutes, so 12:35. We've got all the keeps and all the forts down for CCS. They're going to have to deal with catapults in every lane for the rest of the game.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate miscommunication between Wit's End and Valkymer. Valkymer trying to jump out and save himself, and Wit's End saying, no, stay there, get this big shield. And unfortunately, that's a pretty big ult that just did nothing. And it looks like TMT has already sniffed out that boss is the only thing on CCS's side of the map, so they're going to go try to defend it. Ceridian face checks his Butch. He gets silenced out, but is able to Panda Pals before taking all that damage. Big boss fruit actually coming out onto Lunchbox, and he is going to go down thanks to that jump in from Valkymer. However, a counter kill done onto the Anduin in the back line. And it looks like a 1-for-1 trade, if Valkymer is able to get out, will favor CCS, but I don't think a 2-for-1 will do quite as well.
I almost think 2-for-1 works for XP, but maybe not for their core, and definitely not a 3-for-1. Caledorn gets taken out by the Aetherwalker blink forward. Osprey in a lot of trouble. Osprey's going to leap out, and between that, the Wave of Force and the pull from Alarak, the telekinesis, he'll seem to escape, but I don't think their core can go hide in the Hall of Storms either. Damage now being applied, and we don't know if it can finish yet. There are 3 members up. 4 can't counterpick stupid. Telekinesis misses on Ogle the Great. Minions do spawn, deflect some of the problems, but you can see the whole area around this core being filled in with blue minions as siege camps, catapults, and everything start to push in. 37% on the core and falling. Horfire comes out, hits Serenian. He's going to get taken out, but almost simultaneously the core goes down, and game 1 has won by Tickle Me Tassadar.
There's long been a meme about Illidan on core, but have you seen Fat Illidan? Because he does pretty good on a core too.
Yeah, Fat Illidan definitely definitely did a lot of work on that core. So yeah, that was something special. Let me go ahead and re-add this so we can get the match summary in here. Woo. There we go. All right, looking at the match summary, and it's what you'd expect. Ogle did 1 billion damage, and CCS, TMT didn't die, and CCS had a lot of trouble. Shout out to Silma though. He almost, I think, Silma was really the kind of the silver lining on it. That Alarak play was quite solid, and I think if they can combo off that in the future, they've got a real chance at coming back from this. All right, I'm gonna pull in.
That kind of like. It kind of went the way we predicted, wherein the team that got ahead really stayed ahead. And that's kind of how both of these comps were designed to work. Both were pretty snowbally comps, and, well, one team snowballed.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to pull in Gunny here to talk about that game as well, so we can A, take a break, and B, get some outside opinions on just who watched. Hi, Gunny.
Hi there.
Alrighty, well, that was a nasty little game from TMT right there. Who do you think will CCS ban out almost? Do you think they ban the Panda Pals? They're going to ban How's it gonna go?
Um, I think it's less about the ban and more about their tank choice. A lot of those fights, they were lost because Muradin was forced into position to protect against certain heroes, and they were able to provide flanks with that Falstad, who just got a bunch of backline damage that was almost uncontested. So I think if CCS really wants to address their comp a little bit more, they need to consider either a beefier frontline instead of Alarak, instead of Muradin, a tank that can really have more stopping power.
Yeah,
One of the
I think a comp with like a big tank, a big off tank, maybe a strong bruiser, looking at like the Leorics, the Imperiuses,
mhm.
a stolen Chen possibly, and an Alarak could be a really dangerous combination for CCS, but I'm not entirely sure
Yeah,
how they'll pull that
it's
off exactly.
it's also possible for them to tech or into a stun lock and just stun lock down the Chen. We've seen in previous games with Chen that if you just tech in things like an Uther or some other form of stun lock, you can really prevent the Chen from being able to do anything safely.
And I know that CCS has run tank Uther before, and that shuts down Chen Engage really hard.
Hmm. But I
Hard to
was
run
really
into
impressed with how CCS played that first objective. They did a good job of pulling back to the towers, which prevented the ETC from engaging at all, and they were able to let their comp do exactly what they wanted. That showed really good diligence. So I'm looking forward to them doing something like that in the coming up match.
Getting info from the teams on who has map pick and who's picking first and all this stuff. There is one AFK on CCS, so we'll just be chilling here talking about that game for a little bit. Macro-wise, so we talked about a lot of the team fights, a lot of the decisions there. Macro-wise, the team seemed pretty even. CCS was behind a lot, behind the 8 ball a little bit, and couldn't move out on the map all that much later on, but through the early parts of the game, they definitely seemed quite even with the macro potential that Tickle Me Tassadar brought out.
Yeah, Tickle Me Tassadar didn't have to put as much effort into it because of that Falstad global ability. He was able to pick up Soak with relative ease, and that ended up playing a lot into how they were able to get so far ahead with so little advantage. Any kill got turned into a couple minion waves, a couple more, couple little bit more XP structure here and there, and that was really good by their part. CCS had to put a lot more effort into their macro, and it meant that they were lacking in certain areas, especially that second tribute. They went into the fight pumpkined, and it pushed them back very easily.
Alrighty, well, let's see. We do still have one AFK on CCS. Let's look at let's check some match history from CCS specifically. What kind of maps do they favor? What do we want to see from them? Maybe from just overall. Volskaya's banned out, so we can't go there. I know they do like that map. Most played past that is Infernal Shrines, where they do play a whole variety of different heroes. Holy cow.
Well, I'm
So,
looking forward to seeing an Infernal Shrines game.
I would...
A comp
I'd
like
like
this would
to.
do really well on Shrines.
Yeah, they tend to have they have some preferences on these maps. Just for a couple of heroes, I like the Gul'dan pickup. Obviously, always good to have. Uh, I think it can lend themselves to CCS's strengths without playing into exactly what TMT wants to do.
Mm-hmm. I was interested to see Hungry for Power against a burst comp like Ming. Decreasing the amount that the healer can save you is an interesting choice that I was kind of surprised to see.
Yeah, I think that's a reasonable comp or a reasonable pickup there, or a point out there rather. Uh, it definitely seems like with the Chen, you know Chen is going to be jumping, diving, taking some damage, popping Panda Pals, and all that kind of stuff, and really reducing your burst heal potential could be a real way to I don't know, kind of gimp yourself and force you to use
Yeah.
either Horrify or straight up die a little bit too early. So
Yep.
consider it.
Moreover, with if you take like the corruption decrease cooldown, when Chen dives in as three heroes, you get 3 hits with your Q, which decreases your cooldown of corruption by 3 seconds.
4.5
and that can
seconds.
be very... Yep.
4.5.
More. 4.5 seconds. And that can be very powerful at dealing with the Panda Pals.
Yeah, I believe that would be like corruption, QQ, corruption again, basically, as that's 9 seconds of cooldown reduction. And that's only based on the Panda Dive as well. So yeah, that can chunk through. They didn't make it to Ruinous Affliction this game, but obviously that would be an incredible power spike to have.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Definitely. Although the interesting thing, Chen is a good pickup against Gul'dan, because his damage is mostly over time, so it gives him a little bit more free window to use that Panda Pals to remove damage over time. So they will definitely need to address an answer to that problem.
All right, I've been invited to a game on Dragonshire.
Oh, interesting. Do you know who picked this map?
CCS picked the map, so that's an interesting choice. Let's head over with the scouting department and see what the teams like to do on Dragonshire. Lots of things, trademark. TMT, been here twice. Did have definitely weaker maps, I thought, here. Let me zoom right on over to our summary screen. We do have this going. TMT, Tickle Tassadar, definitely seemed weaker on Dragonshire. Earlier in this season, they dropped them their first map of the season, Piecemeal, and even against Plugwalk, they didn't seem quite as dominant as they have the rest of the season. Now, that was a week 1 match, so obviously things have changed since then, but nonetheless, I think this is a good point to go after for Can't Counterpick Stupid. They've been here 4 times, 3 times this season, and they've picked 2 wins, 1 loss this season, so I like
They've also played main tank Uther on this map.
I like that. I like that.
As an Uther main, I would hope you would like him played.
Please, 1 trick Uther. That's how you rank up, right?
Ace, you're not in anything main. You're in a consistent state of trying to learn hypercarry heroes.
Shush. It's a 1 trick. It's exactly how it works. I just want to learn all the heroes. It's fun. Well, except, like, Gaslow. Shout out to BMed. All right, popping into the draft. Thanks for joining us in the Interlude Gunny. I appreciate it. We'll see you after the match as well.
Sounds good.
Alrighty. This map picked up by Can't Counterpick Stupid, so we will have first picks and bans out by Tickle Me Tassadar. As a reminder, if you're just jumping through this is pre-Monday. It is, in fact, Sunday on all parts of the U.S., at least for the next 30 minutes. And most importantly, Sunday for 3.5 hours on the West Coast. So we do not have Kira involved in these games.
Once again, the high priority Morales ban. I wonder if that is just a not wanting to deal with Juice Pirates strat.
I don't see anything that would involve a Morales on CCS's side. So, I don't know. It might just be an anti-juice strat. It might be a lot of things. But a ban is definitely what it is.
It's the same bans, actually, from the previous game coming out from TMT, and the Respect ban coming out. No Panda Pals this time.
Yeah, I think that's a reasonable thing. Let's see, do we have Medivh Zeratul here? Pick one. What do we choke off Ogle? It's the Li Ming, double respect. Do not want to get beat the same way twice in a row. You know what? I have respect for that. I think even if you're scared of other heroes, don't let them beat you the same way twice in a row. I think that's even if it doesn't work, I think morally it feels a little better. Falstad picked up by Lunchbox again. Gonna go again with that range soul lane and bribe capability.
Yep, I think the Bird Box build is really good on this map. You've got a lot of camps you can bribe pretty easily, and a lot of easy rotations you can get if Falstad is going to be in the 4-man. And realistically, he should be. You want a stronger solo laner than Falstad on this map.
Yeah, they have the opportunity to rotate or use him as a solo laner, depending on what's here. Kael'thas Tyrande picked up. It looks like the beginnings of a burst blow-up comp here on the side of CCS, and I like what I see. I think cleanse removal from Tyrande, good stuff. Obviously, the coordinated blow-up potential, pretty good. I think I like it.
I like it. Tyrande's always been one of those high skill requirement heroes where if you're not getting the stuns into blow-up, it's really not a good hero. She doesn't heal very much. Her cleanse is admittedly pretty good, but her healing is pretty mediocre. So they really need to get that blow-up with Tyrande, but Medivh is kind of the anti-blow-up hero.
Yeah, that's, they left it on the board, and Ogle's gonna pick it up, and that's just gonna put a hard no on any kind of burst pickup. Now, they do have the ability to pivot into other types of compositions, but I think it will be inherently a little bit weaker just having Tyrande as a healer. So, yeah, Medivh, fantastic pickup. I think they should have probably put a little more priority onto the ban if they're looking for a blow-up comp, but maybe they weren't. Maybe we're reading too much into this. Kind of crazy. Zeratul ban coming out from TMT now that Ogle's picked up the Medivh. Yep, no need for Zeratul.
Big fan of the Anduin ban coming out from CCS, not because I hate Anduin, but rather I think he's phenomenal. And if you put a light bomb onto an ETC, it's going to be a real bad day.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, it sets up at worst of... Do it, CCS. Do it. Oh, this is a comp they've drafted before on this map. I won't spoil the ending of it, but it has to... But it's a pretty neat one.
I'm a real big fan of what's going on here.
Yep, this looks almost identical to CCS versus Antioch League done about a month ago. So
like we were saying, Tyrande, you need to hit the E as well. Uther E makes it really easy for Tyrande to hit her E.
For sure. Oh,
Kael'thas throw a DE into there, and you've got a hero that's just not gonna move.
Yeah, even if he's like even if he's protected by Medivh, that stun train is like 5 seconds long, and you only get, what, a second and a half or something on Force of Will? So there's going to be a lot. There's the Ragnaros, as expected. They've taken this almost identically before. They have won with it twice before. I like what I'm seeing here, especially with the main tank Uther. The only sub was a Stukov instead of a Tyrande. Rexar, I want to point out, Rexar picked up by Serenian. That's going to be a nasty matchup for Ragnaros in the top lane. And it's going to almost guarantee that the button's occupied pretty much all the time for Tickle Me Tassadar.
I will say, once again, CCS drafting the superior wave clear comp. But this time, it's not just wave clear. It's wave clear and a pick comp. So they can parlay that wave clear into trying to catch people out of position. I think that's basically their entire strategy, and I hope it works out because that means Game 3.
I am always a fan of Game 3. Teams are still trying to get their portrait synergy together. We've got 4 here on the side of CCS. Silma just not quite getting there. 3 on the side of TMT. I think all signs point to CCS basically taking this game.
We did say that last time.
Yeah, but now there's portrait synergy. And we've got their main tank Uther. I mean, what could possibly go wrong against this team? What could possibly go wrong? Against this team that is up 1-0, we have Serenian on the Rexar, bashing on Rhaegar, Broomboy, one-tricking ETC, Lunchbox, one-tricking Falstad, and Ogle the Great on Medivh. This is Tickle Me Tassadar.
And can't counterpick stupid in the red trunks. Valkymer playing the main tank, Uther, Kelladorn playing Ragnaros, Osprey playing Kael'thas, Wits End playing Tyrande, and Silma playing Kerrigan. Is this quick match Kappa in the chat?
Can we get
I hope there better be some Kappas in 30 seconds from now.
60 seconds. I don't even update my delay. I forget if we set it to 30. Yeah, golden Kappa check. One person a day on Twitch gets the golden Kappa. Make sure to post Kappa to see if you have it.
Checking out the talents real quick, we do actually have Hammer of the Lightbringer coming out for Valkymer, so not going to be able to get incredible poke range on that Q, but getting extra stuns is pretty good also.
Yeah, as someone who's dabbled in the world of main tank Uther a little bit, the Q build is more foreign to me, and the stuns feel really nice, and the mana regen feels really nice. But being able to have armor all the time, and even a little bit of poke damage, doesn't hurt, so yeah.
Because these are not bronze players, we do see Mana Addict coming out from the Kel'Thas. And we also surprisingly have the Meatball build coming out from Ragnaros.
Oh, I love the spicy meatball build. Let's take a look. Both these siege camps being picked up identically by both teams. CCS went ahead, applied a little bit of pressure, and because TMT had to pull off, the siege camp will be taken, let's see, 3 seconds faster. Gonna make a big difference down the line.
And that means it'll be up 3 seconds later for when they take it. Wits End is in a little bit of a precarious position. Brood Boy doesn't have the cooldowns to punish him for being there. We actually see quite a bit more damage coming out onto TMT than they're delivering back, except in the top lane where Caledorn's going to continue to have a rough time.
Yeah, Caledorn's kind of been thrown to, I would say the Wolves, but I think it's the Bears this game. There's going to be a lot of problems up there in the top lane.
There's a bird and, some boars also.
Yeah.
Being thrown to the menagerie.
I'll take it. I'll allow it. The 1.5 support comp does allow CCS to brawl a little bit more and sustain through this. Neither team appears interested at all in making this a 3-lane map. This is a dedicated 2-lane map until the both sides are channeled. So, yeah. Oh, big 3-man slide from Broom Boy. Going to catch a lot of heroes in, and some great body blocking is going to cause Wits End to go down to a dive from Lunchbox. Lunchbox is going to get the counter kill as Ogle took a detour to do that soaking thing. Ugh.
Ooh, Osprey putting himself into a really bad position. Broom Boy gonna punish him for that, and Valkymer's trying to walk out, but it is not gonna happen. That gives pretty much free reign for them to get the channel in the mid lane. Channel in top is going to likely go as well, so it's going to be on Silma to make sure that they can't get that objective mid.
Yeah, and I'm not entirely sure how it's going to work. Everybody's kind of playing defensive. We've got an Owl available for an interrupt, a Flare available. Looks like Caledorn is picking up a lane interruption between mid and top. Bashing. No! Dragon Knight does get channeled by Lunchbox, and that's going to be first DK. 3 minutes in, headed over the side of TMT.
Bashing and Ogle are going to chase down Caledorn, and that's going to be a nice free kill from them, which will grant them level 7, so they have that talent tier advantage while pushing out this DK.
Yeah, everything, wow, gets the wall down and punts Uther down an entire lane. Get back to that 2-lane map that we want. And Dragon Knight is pretty low. Good bit of damage available here. 4 can't counterpick stupid. Ragfort gonna come out. Probably not gonna get any swings or kills. Came out a little bit late actually. I don't think it actually absorbed any damage or did any hero damage. So,
Nope. Little bit late on the Ragfort. I think he was trying to do it as the DK ended to try and catch someone with that Q stun, but just not quite in time to make that happen.
Yeah, Lunchbox did have that barrel roll available. Lunchbox gonna take that 3-second timing window ahead, double bribe, boom, camp picked up.
That 3 seconds mattered.
It definitely did. It was picked up on cooldown. I mean, 3 seconds later, they could have sniffed that out. Looks like the timing worked against can't counterpick stupid, because that's how things work. Cleanse.
Once again, we see the 2-lane map situation. Ogle's going to split to just get those minions, but he does not have particularly good wave clear. Although, Osprey has not been clearing those waves quite as fast as I would have expected from a Kel'Thas. Silma actually rotates up as well to put a little pressure out onto Ogle, but Ogle is not feeling particularly pressured.
I genuinely have never seen that level 7 rag talent before. Blistering attacks is bonus damage every 10 seconds on an auto attack. And then it reduces, I guess it is the meteor build for 7. That's pretty interesting. I've just never seen it. That's pretty cool. Invade here on the bottom siege camp by can't counterpick stupid. Broom Boy coming in for a little bit of a flank. Last second stun is coming in from Bashing. Good combo deflection by Ogle the Great on the Medivh. Bashing is gonna not get out. Living Bomb goes off. Valkymer stays alive with the level 1 talent from Wit's End there. Just barely keeping him alive with the 25 armor and the bonus heals. And good invade. Successful. Gonna get level 10s.
I've never been a fan of Moonlit Arrows, but I think that was the first time I saw it get value, because Valkymer needed every bit of heals per second to keep him from going down, and, you know, that extra cooldown reduction, I think, actually saved his life.
Yeah, I'd tend to agree with that. That's, call that an accurate statement. Broomboy gonna take Headwig and a Flare to the face, but be no worse for wear. Here comes a stun, the D-Storm combo, but look at that. Even through the protected, still down most of his health, and is going to have to just slide out and take an Ancestral to get out. But that was a lot of ultimates burned. All 4 in the 4-man here taken and used. Lava Wave picked up by Rag, so that'll cover the mid lane if he chooses to soak it. And he will. Good job there.
I think the really spicy pick here is the Summon Ultralisk to add an additional stun. And that huge mosh pit interrupted very quickly by Soma puts Broomboy into a bad situation, but it's Kael'thas that's going to go down first. Broomboy just barely able to walk out of there. A nice 2-man stun, but isn't going to get it out onto Bashing, the person that was closest to death. Medivh gets chunked down really hard, saves himself with the Polybomb, the world's smallest portal to just get him out of there. Gets himself a nice little Raven Familiar, and that is very nice team fighting out of Tickle Me Tassadar. Just the micro spacing. Wit's End going in to just poke a little bit, and he's going to get chunked out. And that is the objective channel going out onto the side of Tickle Me Tassadar, and Lunchbox is going to be able to fly in and channel it before Osprey can do a thing about it.
And Celadorn's going to get taken out at the top lane as well. So there's going to be no Rag Fort available for the next 20 plus seconds. So a little bit precarious. Tried to get the stall, get on the button to stall, but it did not work. This is not Brax's holdout, and it's not Brax's holdout before the patch. So, yep, gonna just go ahead and toss a kill over to the side. It's 8-2 currently. Tickle Me Tassadar picking up right where they left off. Valkymer gonna tell the Dragon Knight, have a hammer. Dragon Knight gonna respond by kicking him. Fort gonna be taken down the bottom lane, and they'll move right onto this bottom keep wall.
We saw that the Summon Ultralisk was actually used top lane on stream, but he's just going to be able to tap up and be just fine, as the rest of his team is going to push down that bottom keep wall. Shouldn't actually even be able to get the whole wall, because they're putting out a lot of damage onto this DK with that Hunter's Mark. And Falstad is just going to walk out, maybe Breathe Fire one more time, and be good to go.
Yep, I think that's just about it for this Dragon Knight phase. Not the worst that could have happened, obviously. CCS being resilient here. They're going ahead, continue to not take critical damage, even in losing team fights. Good cleanse onto Broomboy, but it's not enough to get him to engage. Disengaging Gus goes down. They tried to combo it with the Mosh. It does not work. Protection used early, but Rexar is here in the back line to help out. Tyrande gets taken down. Ragfort comes out, could be useful as swings towards the front, does not hit Bashing. Instead, Osprey drops stun, but Ogle gets the Medivh shield out. And that's pretty much the end of that engagement. Another kill on the side of Tickle Me Tassadar. And yeah, seem to be saying that a lot this series, Ektar.
I want to call out the Circle of Protection and the Arcane Explosion. They're pretty standard talents, but they came online before that team fight, and both protected and dealt a ton of damage during that team fight.
Yeah, if we want to look at the damage here, Medivh is 519 damage off the top of hero damage, so doing obviously his part to bring the pain as is expected from Ogle's Medivh.
Celadorn would tend to disagree, but you know, he's
for
mostly
his
the top
team.
lane
For
anyway.
his team, he's been wailing on a Misha. That's Misha thing. Silma goes for a carrying combo. Serenian sidesteps it expertly, and yep, that's going to be absolutely nothing.
Portal engage onto this Bruiser camp, and that's going to be Falstad blowing the Mighty Gust to secure that Bruiser camp.
I almost think that's worth. It's a short cooldown, and it just, if I were CCS, I would just be off the planet. Just be like, I'm mad at this point. They didn't need to do that. They didn't have to do that, but they did it, and it worked successfully. It was a portal.
Huge engage coming down into the bottom lane onto Silma is going to pop that Chrysalis, but it is not enough to save them. Valkymer gets there just a little bit too late. Really solid engagement done there, while the rest of their team was fighting in the top and mid lane.
Lava popping out early to try and clean out some of this. Lunchbox is actually going to take a lot of damage by walking directly backwards through the lava, something you'd never really want to see, but it doesn't really matter. He's healed up to full. Bottom keep is safe for now. But
remember, kids, if a giant plume of lava is rushing towards you, run towards it, not away.
ha 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 ha. Or just protect. Alright,
Yeah.
Lunchbox is going to fly mid, do his duty, get in the Dragon Knight. Polybomb does come out on Wit's End, is going to force a disengage. Lunchbox goes ahead and channels it. Valkymer tries to get a Q interrupt, but does not have that range from level 1, so he's caught out of position and blown up immediately. And, yeah, another 3-level lead for Tickle Me Tassadar. They're going to march down to this bottom keep, and if it goes quick, this might already be game.
Things are starting to look pretty dire for Can't Counterpick Stupid. They're going to need to make a really solid defense here. And there goes the interrupt out onto the Molten Core. Not going to be able to stop this keep from going down any quicker. It'll be on short cooldown, so you could use it mid if he wants to get a little extra damage and CC. But it looks like Tickle Me Tassadar is deciding that they haven't gotten anything besides the keep, so they're going to just try and make the safe play. A lot of damage coming out onto Osprey, who pops that mana barrier. But maybe get a Misha kill for it, hopefully, maybe. Not even that. And this whole time now, the Dragon Knight's been wailing on the mid lane and gets that front wall.
Yeah, Dragon Knight's a bit low to push in, but it is Falstad, so he can dodge out. Caledorn does get the Molten Core, so that will end this push. Dragon Knight only has 10 seconds left. Molten Core lasts about that long. Breathes some fire on the well, reducing it to rubbly pieces, and that'll be it. But it's TMT in a dominant position.
I gotta say, Wit's End, I feel, has just been stepping up a little bit too far. I know Taranda's an aggressive healer, and you need to get those auto attacks in, but often they're the first person going down in these team fights, it feels like, and main tank Uther is not a healer.
No, he heals to save himself and grant the armor, and that's all that it is. Nothing more of it exists. So, alrighty. Giants defended in the bottom lane, bribed out by Lunchbox. And then the rest of TMT is just going to do a little poke damage into the mid here. Minions have been depleted. Valkymer going for the full stun combo and executes it with nobody there to follow up. It felt like a desperation thing, but gotta hold that until you know, your whole team's available there. So hopeful is where they're at right now.
We've now seen 6 complete camps bribed out, or 6 complete camp minions bribed out by Lunchbox. So that's 30% bonus damage out onto that lightning rod. So really getting some good value out of that level 1 talent.
Yep, that talent is pretty good, giving you both damage and macro capabilities. That's pretty powerful. Bruiser Camp going to be taken as CCS or TMT goes ahead and basically just paints the map blue.
And TMT's making the smart call. They're pushing out the lanes in places that they know that CCS isn't, keeping that vision on the enemy team with that Medivh in bird form. And they're just going to safe soak till 20. They don't want to take any risks right now. Yeah.
So, yeah, Shrine's coming up. We're going to have to see something change for Can't Counterpick Stupid. They've got to get a group up to gank Serenian, or somebody to interrupt the bottom shrine, or something, just something, to be able to interrupt this. But instead, I feel like I've said this a few times before, Lunchbox flies mid, channels the Dragon Knight, 4th Dragon Knight onto the side of TMT, and I can't see anything but a complete victory in this case, unless we can get some heroics from the Rag Fort here.
We do have the level 20s coming out from the side of Tickle Me Tassadar. We've got Kill Command, we've got Storm Shield, the increased Polybomb, Wind Tunnel, and Tourbus is the surprise pick of the night.
Oh. Wow, that Ragnar's Fort died practically instantly. as the core is being aggressed upon. Mosh comes out, is going to take out Valkymer almost. It's going to stay alive, doesn't end up getting the Torbus value. Valkymer pops up Benediction. Dragon Knight is dead just about. Core also almost dying. It's at 60%. And with Valkymer being taken out and the Wind Tunnel shoving them in their own Hall of Storms, it looks like there's nothing left but the GGs. Tickle Me Tassadar goes ahead and takes the series 2-0.
And in pretty dominant fashion, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. Yeah, C-West be scared, yo. C-West be scared. Not projection, by the way. So, let's go
It's
ahead.
fine. We already got the win.
Yeah, we did. Got him. Alrighty. Let's go ahead, add Gunny back into this as we get an interview set up with Tickle Me Tassadar. Gunny, welcome. Welcome.
Wow. Back a little bit sooner than I hoped, but looked like a good game.
Yeah, it seemed a little more lively. I don't know. It was just as dominant in terms of the scoreboard, but CCS seemed to have something going for a little while, but they just couldn't put it together all at once.
Yeah, it felt like they got very impatient towards the end of that game. They got a little bit hungry for kills and a little too desperate, and they ended up blowing some cooldowns when follow-up wasn't there, and I think they could have stood to play it a little bit more patiently, but I really liked their comp. It was a really nice... It would have been really nice to see it a little bit more executed.
Yeah, I tend to agree. They seem to have little flashes of, like, this would kill your average team here in C-West. And then something would happen. Either Ogle would portal, or Ogle would shield, or Lunchbox would gust, or Broomboy would flank slide, or Bashing would hit an Ancestral, and everything they had just got shut down enough times. And it just never got going for CCS, where they couldn't get the ball rolling downhill to snowball some kills and some objectives.
Yeah. With a comp like that in mind, I'm surprised they didn't prioritize banning out the Medivh if they did have that scouting information, which it seems like they did game one.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
But,
yeah. I tend to agree. Stuns less than Medivh. So.
Yeah. And Ogle is a pretty notorious Medivh player. Let's not kid ourselves about that.
Yeah. I think he's pretty well known around. So, yeah. Alright, well, Ektar and I are going to jump on over to one of the lobby channels and get an interview with Serenian after his Nexomania 2-0 victory over CCS. Hello.
Hello, hello.
Surprise. Well, congratulations. That was pretty good, to put it lightly. I like what you brought there.
Thank you.
So yeah, let's get right into it. Game 1. We have Cursed Hollow. I forget. Did you guys? Yeah, you picked that map.
Yep, that was our pick.
Any particular like preferences or something for Cursed Hollow specifically? I know. Trying to remember the comp you had, but.
Yeah, we like globals.
Yep, Lunchbox played it well.
Chen was, yes, we had Falstad, so we lowered the priority onto Haka, and Chen was a bit of an afterthought after seeing what they had. We felt like he could get on their backline a lot better than Dahaka was going to. So we sacrificed a bit of the extra global that we really like for that. But, I mean, as a lot of people in NGS will know, I adore Chen, so I will never say no to that call.
The Panda Pals, always the best pals. Ektar, you had something?
Not yet.
Okay. I thought you were trying to pop in right before that ended, so yeah. Good to go. Yeah, and it just, everything seemed to roll right after the first tribute. The boss calls were good. The Falstad Gus were pretty fantastic for controlling the bosses. Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot to say other than it just worked out really well. So, that's real good to hear. You have any questions on it, Ektar?
Yeah. What is your opinion about Broomboy being a one-trick ETC?
You can blame Lunchbox for that. He really likes ETC. We've worked a lot with ETC, and he's our drafter. So sure enough, Room Boy ends up on ETC every game.
You heard it here first, NGS. Room Boy is in fact a one-trick ETC.
Confirmed. Put it on the front page of NGS. Get somebody to write an article about it. Most notorious one tricks of NGS.
You know what? He's just happy to not be playing Johanna anymore. Apparently, that's all he did last season.
Right in the feels. Alrighty. Game 2, you get Dragonshire. You get banished to the solo lane, but you get Rexar. So, I mean, let's be real here. Couldn't be happier, I'd imagine.
Yeah, that one was not an afterthought. That was what I was looking at from the get-go. When I see Dragonshire, I immediately think Rexar, because he's just so beautiful for holding that point.
Yeah, Fat Illidan can duel pretty much anyone on a point.
Isn't Fat Illidan Chen, though?
Oh, no, you're totally right. I'm thinking about game 1 still.
Yep. Yeah.
Either way, you're still right.
Yeah, Fat Illidan can duel a core.
Fat Illidan was the backup.
Yep. Yeah, that's generally how it works out.
What do you think about the pick coming out from Keldor and the Ragnaros pick on that map?
Our entire team kind of collectively was not expecting that. We sort of all just said, what? At the same time. We saw the Uther and we were expecting sort of a bruiser Uther, which, I mean, they did, but we were expecting something more frontline oriented out of that. We were thinking full stun comp, expecting a Muradin or even just a Johanna, which is less so, but still works.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't go after. Go on.
Everyone on their team except Ragnaros had a stun.
Oh yeah, that's why we were expecting another stun, so that if they landed one, that person was dead pretty much no matter what they did.
Yeah, I feel like it was a minor misplay to let Medivh through against a stun comp. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Ogle's Medivh is pretty well known.
I'm never one to stroke Ogle's ego, but that Medivh play was pretty fantastic and very integral into surviving that game. There was a lot of damage that got put out that just got completely chunked out by those the AoE force of will.
Yeah, that's sort of the nice thing as we've progressed through the season is a lot of us have improved greatly, and we've gotten to a point where anytime we're getting target banned, it's extremely difficult to target ban everything because Chen gets through, or Medivh gets through, Zeratul gets through, Falstad gets through. There's not enough bans to deal with all of the picks that we have very frequently shown. So something is getting through every single round, and we tend to play off that.
If everybody one tricks, they can't target ban everybody's one trick.
Exactly.
Thinking emoji. Fantastic.
Hear that, soak every lane? You don't need to play expecting BMED's heroes to get through. You all just need to get your own one tricks.
Yeah, absolutely. Make one comp that works. And then, now what? You can't target ban people. It's fantastic. I like the strategy. Alrighty. Ektar, you have anything else?
We've been streaming for about an hour and 20 minutes. We should have all had at least 10 ounces of water by now.
That's a good point.
Thank you. Stay hydrated, Ektar. Alrighty. That's all I've got, as always.
Any shout-outs, Ceridian?
Yeah. Shout out to my team. Holy crap, guys. This has been a big week for us. I know we've been practicing, but my God, we've really stepped up this week, and all of us feel it. So huge shout out to you guys. Thank you, both of you, for casting. I say this every single time, but I love having the opportunity to go back and watch, and just to have other people watching as well. It makes it more exciting for everyone. Shout out to Counterpick Stupid. They along with us have been hyping this matchup since like week 1 of the season, and that's been a lot of fun. There's been a lot of banter, so maybe this will answer some questions, but But anyways, either way, it's been a lot of fun one way or another, and thank you for being good sports. It's been a blast in Div C chat.
I will say the two of you both have a lock on playoffs, so I certainly wouldn't mind seeing a rematch later down a couple weeks from now.
Looking forward to
It's
it if it
actually
happens.
looking pretty likely. If you kind of look at projected seeds, depending on how we do as Lurk Patrol, if you guys get the 1 seed, CCS is pretty much assured 4 or 5 at this point. 4 or 5 will go against the winner of 1 and 8, so you never know. I mean, it could pretty easily happen again. We'll likely, if both teams make it through, we'll see you guys at the top of C West possibly at the end of the season. Assuming,
Yes, we will. We look forward to it. Only team that's dominated us.
I'm just
Alrighty.
glad you said it so I didn't have to.
Oh, we know very well.
Yep.
We've been staring
Alrighty.
at you guys ever since.
Alrighty. Well, in that
Lord Control
case,
demands to be respected.
alrighty. Well, with that out of the way, with this series out of the way, and future excitement coming up, thanks for joining us, Serenian,
No problem.
and have a good evening.
You as well.
Alrighty, back to the casting bunker with Ektar. As soon as Ektar feels like joining. Hi, Ektar. Alrighty. Well, that's about all I've got. You have anything else?
Watch the Meat Hall VOD. If for some reason you're here and didn't watch the Meat Hall, go check out the NGS Twitch channel and watch the Meat Hall.
That's a good idea. Watch the Meat Hall. If you break rules in playoffs, this guy right here, he's going to be upset with you. You're going to be hearing from him. You don't want to do that, so watch the Meat Hall. That's all we've got. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for joining Ektar and everybody here. Have a good evening.